Hi folks, it's Kate here from The Breath Between and katecashman.com. I'm back this fortnight or this week as part of the fortnightly theme of your space around you and how that influences your ability to feel rested and renewed. And this week I really wanted to talk about decluttering. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a Virgo, pretty serious Virgo. I subscribe to pretty much all of the typical qualities of a Virgo, which means I'm often fairly fastidious. I love lists, I love order. I'm very much type A personality. Decluttering is actually one of the things that I really enjoy tackling, but it's something that just tends to build up all of the time. So even with created systems of where to store bills when they come in, even though they're all online now, but when papers come in and where I need to put things and clothes, I order everything out, I declutter, and then it builds back up. But having said that, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I find the process of decluttering and what I'm going to talk about in this video is very cleansing and very renewing. So the first thing I wanted to point out is that decluttering is not just great for your physical space and generating physical energy, as in energy of what it is that is around you, your actual physical space. It frees up not just that sort of energy, but also psychological and mental energy and emotional and spiritual energy. And they're two of the things that I wanted to focus on with this video and to talk to you about when it comes to decluttering. But I also just wanted to start off by noting that it gives you more space. Decluttering is all about space and about consciously creating space, whether it's through clarity, time, physical space, or peace of mind. They're just some of the examples of how decluttering can create that space in those places. Physical space is definitely related to mental space. When it comes to decluttering, and I certainly have felt like this, when I have decluttered my house, I most definitely feel like my mind is much less cluttered. So one of the big tips I often say to people is that if you're feeling really cluttered, then decluttering your house and the rooms where you spend the most time in particular can be a really good place to start, and it's a really fresh energy. Sometimes decluttering, whether it's physical or some of the other energy centers that I'm going to talk to, it might be that it's giving you more closure. So what is it that you're hanging on to that's around you that no longer serves you, that brings back negative or upsetting memories? Because if it's time for you to move on from being reminded about something painful, something hurtful, something heartbreaking, and it makes you feel like that every time you're around it, then it's perhaps time for you to get rid of it. And it can be really therapeutic for you to do that. It's also, I connect decluttering or clutter with fear. So when we're decluttering our house of those things that make us feel perhaps, whether it's disorganized, angsty, sad, if they're memories that we're holding on to or photos that we're holding on to. I mean, photos are a little bit different because they're memories, but those love letters, you know, from years ago, from something you're holding on to, all of those sorts of things. Sometimes it's about moving on from fear and what it is that you're fearful of, and sometimes you don't even realize it. I also say that, and this is something I apply in my own home, is that I'm not ruthless when it comes to decluttering, because if I find something in my home, in my cupboard, in a shoebox, in a filing cabinet that brings me joy, then, or love or positivity, then I make sure I keep it. But it allows me to find those things and keep them in a place where they're easily accessible. So it is really important, to declutter, because it means you can find those things that truly bring you joy or bring you love or bring you positivity as well. So I want to point out that I think that decluttering is something that goes far beyond just a physical decluttering. And yes, physical decluttering can have an effect on our physical energy, emotional energy, spiritual energy and mental energy, but I'm also suggesting that you consider decluttering in all 4 of those areas by using practical ways that I'm going to suggest. The first one of physical decluttering is quite obvious. You can either do piecemeal, room by room. I like to set aside a weekend and just de-cleanse my whole house, because I get really not upset, but I get really annoyed by mess and clutter. And once I've made the decision, I don't know if any other fellow Virgos are on the same page with me here, but once I make the decision to do it, I have to get it done, and I'll do it quickly. And the sense of renewal and refreshment is amazing. So that's physical decluttering. Also have a think about emotional decluttering, and that can also be social. So emotional decluttering might be saying no to those events, those commitments in your life, those committees that you're on that don't serve you, those friends that you feel terrible about yourself when you're around. It might be clearing space in those places as well. Typical example of that might be a purge of your Facebook list. If there's somebody that doesn't make you feel good about yourself, you can either unfollow them and not see their posts, or you can remove them because you don't have time and energy to spare on people that don't make you feel good about yourself. So that might be an emotional, social decluttering, and that makes you feel emotionally connected to yourself, and more joyful, more loving, more positive. Another area that you can declutter is mental clutter, getting rid of mental clutter. For me, one of the biggest things was to write everything down. So I have a little book that I carry with me. I don't have it on my desk with me right now, but I have a little book that I carry with me, and every time I think, oh my goodness, I've got to Google that, or oh my goodness, I've got to look this up, or oh my goodness, I've got to do this, I write it down in a book, because if I don't, I feel like I have all of these things rushing around in my head, and I get brain fog and I get brain clutter. So making sure that you have a space to purge everything out, and you can pull to-do lists from there. You can use Google software to list things that you need to do, but just getting everything that comes into your head on paper means the responsibility for remembering it is taken off you, and it just clears a lot of the fog. It's amazing. It's all about space, remember. And the final thing, spiritual decluttering. What do you think is one of the best things for stopping your monkey mind? Meditation, of course. The reason why we harp on about this so much is because it is so incredibly transformative. You are never going to quieten it completely. And if you have and you've reached enlightenment, then please, I'd love to hear all about it. But it's about a practice that extends you every time you sit, or you move into that practice. Meditation can help you with decluttering your mind. It helps quieten those thoughts. It may not make them disappear, but they may come in waves that are slower. So that's great for making your mind feel decluttered. Another one that I really love that can be spiritual as well is journaling. So just free-flowing with your writing. What is it that you're thinking about? What is it that you're tuning into in terms of the beliefs? I've been working with some amazing women who are fellow coaches at the moment about what are my beliefs around this? What is it that's holding me back? And it's just free-flow writing, and it's so therapeutic, and it's getting all of that stuff out of my head onto the page. So I definitely encourage you to declutter your home, and there's a lot of great resources out there about how best to do it, whether you do it in piecemeal options, whether you do it all at once, and however you do that is totally up to you. But can I also encourage you not just to focus on the physical? A lot of what I do here at The Breath Between is also showing people that to live a fully engaged life and to feel renewed and rested, it's not just about physical energy. So it's not just about lying on a couch to rest or working out to get lots of physical energy. It's also about mental energy. It's about, and space. It's about spiritual energy and space, and it's about emotional energy and space. So decluttering in all of those areas, using all of those techniques, can just give you that sense of space. I hope that's been helpful. Can't wait to see you in a week's time, and as always, we can slow down together. Thanks. Bye now.